All right, so first, to show you where the larynx is, right here, you can see here that this structure is the pharynx, hence oropharynx, laryngopharynx, and then the larynx is within this spot right here. And I'll go through everything. Starts there and ends here. And this part is the trachea below it. Okay, so that's the larynx. All right, so in other words, you can write with me now. The larynx is a voice box. Okay, it's a voice box. And where it is located, it is located in the anterior neck. So anterior part of the neck. Um, if you touch the anterior part of the neck in this spot, which is called the Adam's apple, this is basically the meeting point between the two thyroid cartilages. And I will talk about them just to let you know where things are. So the Adam's apple, as you touch it, that is basically you're touching part of your larynx, okay? Um, it is it is part of the respiratory tract. So the larynx is part of the respiratory tract, and it has many functions. It has many functions. Function number one, phonation, as in produce sound, phonation. Okay. The second thing is cough reflex. It is in charge of the cough reflex. Right. And the third thing is it protects the tract of respiration below it. It's a protection for the respiratory tract or the hallway of the air. Okay, again, can you tell me the functions?
Peaking, cough reflex, and protection of respiratory tract.
Phonation, cough reflex, and protection of lower respiratory tract. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now the next thing is we have to talk about what makes up the larynx. First, it is a primary cartilage structure. So all of what you see here, thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, arytenoid cartilage, all of those cartilages are primary cartilage. Okay, primary cartilage. And how are they held together? They're held together by ligaments and membranes. Okay, ligaments and membranes. For example, this one right here is the thyroid membrane. So ligaments and membranes hold the larynx structure together. Okay. And so finally, there's also muscle. So ligaments, membranes, and muscles. What are the muscles used for? It helps in breathing and it helps in phonation. Phonation means sound. So my sound, Haytham's voice, Ahmed's voice, is produced in the larynx. How? By the muscles acting on the cartilages to change the shape of vocal cords so that it produces a high-pitched voice or a low-pitched voice. Okay? Again,
Okay.
muscles, they move components of the larynx to help with phonation and with breathing. Now we're going to look at the anatomy of it, okay? The first thing that we have to know, and speaking about its anatomical position, okay? So where it is, write with me. Point number one, it is located, as we said, in the anterior part of the neck and suspended from hyoid bone. Here, hyoid bone. As you see, it is suspended from the hyoid bone. Okay. What is what is behind it? What's behind it is
The
the
cervical vertebrae.
nope, esophagus.
Okay.
Posterior to the larynx is the esophagus. Okay.
Okay.
Now we know it's below the hyoid bone. Behind it stands the esophagus.
Esophagus.
Okay. Now, the structure of it. First, as I said, I wanted to talk about the larynx. And in the point, in the oral issue, in your list of the anatomy in the university, it says larynx, laryngeal cartilage, ligaments, muscles, and point number 32, the laryngeal cavity and the glottis. So I am in total covering both issues at the same time, but I will tell you exactly what you should be saying for point number 32. Okay?
Okay.
Now I told you that we are discussing point number 31. In general, point number 31 includes also point number 32. Deal?
Deal.
Okay, so point number 31, if I'm discussing it, I have also finished point number 32. So anytime there is anything about point number 32, I will tell you, hey, just write a note there or like put number 32 near what we're currently discussing, just so that you know for point number 32, I should be saying this part of point number 31. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now for the first thing I want you, um, you have to now label. Now I'm talking about the anatomical structure of the larynx. And here I need you to say point 31. We're discussing point 31. Just say point 32 also. Like just note for the next bit, 32.
Got it.
Yes, okay. All right. The structure of it, it's formed by cartilage. It's formed by cartilage, held together by ligaments and membranes. We know this. Okay. And we said the muscles are used for phonation and breathing. We already said this. Now, the internal cavity of the larynx, it can be divided into three parts. And this is the main 32. This is the main part about 32. Okay. It's included in 31, but also 32. Here we are talking about 32 specifically as well. So
Okay.
in 32, it tells you the laryngeal cavity and the glottis. Okay. So the cavity of the larynx is divided into three sections. Divided into three sections. The supraglottis, number one, supraglottis. Supra means above. Glottis, supraglottis, above the glottis. So supraglottis. Number two, the glottis. Number three, the subglottis, below the glottis. Okay? Now, supraglottis, and I will show you. Let me try to get in the, yes, I want to hide that. I want to also hide that. I will hide, this is the epiglottis, I don't need it. Or let me just not hide it. And I will show you, hide, what if I make the larynx naked without the cartilage around it. This is what I am talking about, bro. Look, here is the laryngopharynx, right?
Yeah.
Laryngopharynx is the part of the pharynx that is closer to the larynx.
Okay.
Laryngopharynx, and then how things move, basically air. It moves like this down here. Okay? It will go
Yeah.
from pharynx to larynx. That's the air movement. How will the food move? Is from pharynx to esophagus. Deal?
Deal.
So the why I'm mentioning this is because I have seen the epiglottis. I have seen the
Okay.
epiglottis. For the epiglottis, what it does is that when you swallow food, we don't want the food to go like this. We want it to go like this. So the epiglottis, this one, it will become like this. So it will contract and close this pathway so that food can go here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So First thing that we have to know, the epiglottis is part of there. We're going to discuss it part of the larynx, of course. But let's go back now to what we are discussing. Anatomical structure, supraglottis, glottis, and subglottis. The supraglottis is from the anterior surface of the epiglottis to the vestibular folds. Okay, now watch. I'm gonna hide this pharynx. Hide. Watch.
Could you repeat that actually?
Yes, I'll repeat it. The the supraglottis is from the inferior surface of the epiglottis to the vestibular folds. And I will show you what I mean but when you are done writing, okay? The supraglottis is from the inferior surface of the epiglottis to the vestibular.
The vestibular folds.
Yes. I will hide this one now. And look, I've taken the pharynx off, bro. And you can see how the pharynx can guide food to this whole epiglottis or to this whole pharynx, the air, what you breathe in. Watch. You see, there's a hole and another hole. This hole
Hmm?
right here is the door to the larynx. This is the larynx. Okay. Here, larynx. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Larynx is the first thing the air crosses when it enters the trachea, going to the lungs. And esophagus is the first thing the food crosses after pharynx to go to the stomach. Deal?
Deal.
Now we said we want to discuss the structure of the larynx. First, it's divided into three parts. 1, 2, 3. Supraglottis, glottis, and subglottis. Okay?
Yeah.
We said supraglottis is from the inferior surface of the epiglottis, that's the
The
inferior
vestibular folds.
of the
Yeah.
epiglottis, to the vestibular folds. These ones
Okay.
here. These are vestibular folds, and I will show you. Sorry, that one. I'm so sorry. Here. This is the
Hmm.
vestibular folds. So from here, of course, they mean the whole area here. Give me a second. Sorry. They're talking from here up until here. So this area, all of it is supraglottis, okay?
Yeah.
From inferior surface of epiglottis to the vestibular folds. Next, the glottis. Before I move on, brother, what is the
Yeah.
vestibular folds? What do I mean when I say vestibular folds?
Uh, Vestibular folds basically unfolding the muscle.
No. The vestibular folds,
Okay.
there are two types of folds.
Okay.
Vocal folds and the vestibular folds. The vocal folds are the true vocal folds. These help you produce sounds. The vestibular folds, on the other hand, they are the false vocal cords. That's what a vestibular fold is, okay?
Okay.
Now, the glottis, right here. The glottis, right there. And you can see that the glottis is kind of a constricted spot. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Supraglottis, subglottis, and glottis. Okay. Now, glottis, what is the glottis? It contains the vocal cords. It contains the vocal cords, and it contains the vocal cords right here and 1 centimeter below the vocal cords. That's the glottis. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's important about the glottis, brother? The glottis contains something called rima glottis. The glottis contains something called rima glottis or rima glottidis. Okay. Rima glottis. Why is this important? Because this is the spot where your voice is produced, and specifically the opening of the rima glottis. This rima glottis is just the space between the vocal cords. Again, what is the glottis? The glottis is found between supraglottis and subglottis. The glottis contains vocal cords and 1 centimeter below them. Uh, the opening between the vocal cords is called rima glottis, and the size of rima glottis is altered by muscles of phonation. These are the important points about the glottis that you should know. The glottis
Okay.
contains vocal cords, or
It's
yes,
1 centimeter below the
and
vocal
yes,
cords, contains rima glottis,
which is an opening
where
in the vocal
okay,
cords, and the size of rima glottis is altered by muscles of phonation. Let me show you what I mean. I will go here and I'll zoom in and I will isolate, sorry, I'll isolate the larynx, and you can see I will try my best to zoom in here just to see if we can see it. Do you see it, brother?
yeah,
So here you can see you can see that vocal cords are there, but they're on external side. And then you can see the rima glottis right here, the opening between them. And you can
okay,
see that the vocal cords can either make this smaller by coming together, okay, or make it wide
hmm,
by going away from each other. And how they move away or get close with each other by muscles of phonation. And just check this. If you have, bro, a very narrow opening compared to a very wide opening, imagine your lips form smaller hole compared to wider hole. Which one is easier to whistle? The smaller one, right?
yeah,
Just likewise, the glottis, if it becomes smaller, gives you a high pitched, and the glottis, if it becomes wider, or the rima glottis
eh,
specifically, it gives you a low pitch.
okay,
That's the whole thing. And how it does it is by muscles of phonation. Deal?
okay,
So far, so clear?
yeah,
Okay. Subglottis. Now, subglottis. Subglottis. The subglottis is from the inferior border here, inferior border of glottis to the inferior border of the cricoid cartilage, somewhere around here. And I will show you the inferior border of the cricoid cartilage. I get it out, I reset, and you can see that the cricoid, I'm gonna hide the thyroid gland, and the cricoid cartilage is right there. And if I isolate it, it's like this, but I will multiple select and show you how I'm gonna hide this one. I'm gonna select that, and I'm gonna select this, and I isolate. And you can see that the subglottis is still here. You understand?
yeah,
From the lower, from the inferior border of the glottis to the inferior border of the cricoid cartilage. End of discussion. Good.
yeah,
Okay. Now, um, um, 1 second. So I finished the laryngeal cavity. Once, 30. Yes, the laryngeal cavity and the glottis. Do you understand it, bro?
yeah, understood.
Yes. Okay. So now for point 32, all of what we have said so far is necessary.
Okay,
Um, now we need to add, يعني, how blood supply to the larynx and nerve innervation to the larynx. Okay.
okay,
The
pharyngeal
blood
arteries,
supply, the blood
like,
supply is
yeah,
laryngeal arteries, exactly, superior and inferior.
laryngeal,
Yes, laryngeal arteries, superior and inferior, and laryngeal veins, superior and inferior, for taking the blood away. I will have this here and have that here. And you can see, one second, that's not it. No, it should be deeper. Should be very much deeper than that. Let me see if that's the one. Yes, inferior laryngeal. Okay. Inferior laryngeal. It's very hard to get it out, but you understand it. Inferior laryngeal and superior laryngeal veins and arteries for blood supply. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now for innervation. We have recurrent laryngeal nerve and superior laryngeal nerve. Recurrent laryngeal nerve and superior laryngeal nerve. And these both are branches of vagus nerve, as we said before. Okay, recurrent laryngeal nerve and superior laryngeal nerve.
Okay.
Now, that is the end of the structure of larynx. And here, that's where you stop for point number 32. Do you understand?
Got it.
Okay. Now for point 31, it includes what we have already mentioned, but we will continue to talk about laryngeal cartilages. Laryngeal cartilages. The laryngeal cartilages, there are 9 of them. 9. There are 9 cartilages located within the larynx. So this is the next point we're talking about. Laryngeal cartilages. There are 9 cartilages located within the larynx. 3 of them are unpaired and 6 of them are paired. 3 of them are unpaired and 6 of them are paired.
Yeah.
And we will go over them. First,
Mm-hmm.
with the unpaired cartilages. 1, thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage. Number 1, thyroid cartilage. Okay. The thyroid cartilage. Number 2, of course, we're going to write notes about each, but let's just name them. Number 2, cricoid cartilage. Number 2, cricoid cartilage. Number 2, cricoid cartilage. Number 3, epiglottis. And I will show you first this one. Number 1, cricoid cartilage. That's what we said. That's how it looks like. That's the hyoid bone. Not the one, but this is the thyroid cartilage. Second one, we said cricoid cartilage.
Cricoid cartilage.
Cricoid cartilage is this one. Okay, that's the second cartilage of the unpaired
Mm-hmm.
group. And then we have epiglottis. Epiglottis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These are the 3 unpaired. Yes. Now for the paired cartilages. First, arytenoid cartilage. Arytenoid cartilage, and I will show you the arytenoids. Here. Arytenoid cartilage. These are the arytenoids. The arytenoid cartilage.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have corniculate cartilage. They are found on the top of the arytenoids. Okay,
Yeah.
they sit on them. I'll select the arytenoids like this as well. Here, see? Corniculate and arytenoid. So corniculate cartilages. And finally, we have cuneiform cartilages, but they're not very well seen here, and I will show you what I mean. Cuneiform cartilages, they are present in this fold, located inside the ariepiglottic fold, inside it,
Mm.
and they strengthen this fold. They're found inside this. These are called cuneiform cartilages. Inside, they strengthen it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are done with this point. We just need to write notes about them. First,
Okay.
thyroid cartilage.
First.
First, go back to the
Mm.
unpaired. The first one you said was thyroid cartilage, right?
Yeah.
We have to write notes about it. So the thyroid cartilage, it's easily visible in males, adult males. Adam's apple, right?
Yeah.
The Adam's apple is this part. That's what you touch.
Hmm.
Okay. And it is composed of two sheets or laminas. Here. This is one, two sheets or laminas. This is one. Okay. And the other one on the other side. And they fuse anteriorly, forming laryngeal prominence called Adam's apple. Called laryngeal prominence called Adam's apple. So the laminas or the two sheets, they join anteriorly, forming a prominence called laryngoprominence. Now,
Hmm.
if we look at this, there are two horns, one and two, superior and inferior. It also has, so two laminas, and it also has a superior lamina and an inferior, sorry, a superior horn and an
The
inferior
horn.
horn.
Inferior horn. Yeah.
Yes. The
Bless you.
superior horn
Hmm.
is connected to the hyoid bone. Here. See? Superior horn is connected to the hyoid bone with lateral thyrohyoid ligament. Superior
Would you
horn.
repeat that?
Yes, the superior horn here on the screen
Hmm.
is connected to the hyoid bone by lateral thyrohyoid ligament. Lateral thyrohyoid ligament. While the
Oh,
inferior one articulates with cricoid cartilage. Do you get it?
yeah.
Okay. Again, what's the thyroid cartilage made up of?
1 second, I'm writing it down. Articulates with cricoid cartilage.
Yes.
The thyroid cartilage it's easily visible. It's composed of two sheets or lamina.
Mm-hmm.
It is fused anteriorly to give the laryngeal prominence, which is called the Adam's apple.
Yes.
Two horns, superior and inferior.
Yes.
Superior connects the hyoid bone to the lateral thyrohyoid ligament.
Mm-hmm.
Inferior articulates with the cricoid cartilage.
Nice. And the thyroid cartilage is connected to the hyoid bone by the thyrohyoid membrane. Thyrohyoid membrane. Okay. Then we have
Yeah.
the cricoid cartilage. We're going to talk about the cricoid cartilage. Now, the cricoid cartilage is a complete ring of hyaline cartilage. It's a complete ring of hyaline cartilage. It is broad posteriorly. Look at it. It is broad posteriorly and thin anteriorly. Okay. What does it articulate with? It articulates with arytenoid cartilages. Arytenoid cartilages. Wait, hide. It articulates, look, because the
Mm.
arytenoid cartilages, it sit on it like this. Look at it. And I'm gonna select this. And also, I'm going to, first, I'm going to show you
Right.
interiorly. There. Okay, it articulates with this.
Mhm.
Okay, see how they sit on it? It articulates
Yeah.
with arytenoid cartilages posteriorly behind, and also provides an attachment for the inferior horns of the thyroid cartilage. Do you see it? Externally or laterally. There. Okay. And let me get the arytenoids out as well. I can select them. There. Do you see how it interacts with all of these?
Yeah.
Here. I have arytenoids on top of it, and laterally outside, you have inferior horns of thyroid. Okay. Now, the cricoid, yes, خلاص, we're done with this cricoid. Yes, we're done. Okay. Now, the epiglottis, look at it.
Uh-huh.
Epiglottis is the next thing we're going to talk about. Isolate. The epiglottis, it's a leaf-shaped plate. Leaf-shaped plate of elastic cartilage. 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 Okay. It marks the entrance of the larynx. It marks the entrance of the larynx. And just to select this for you and show you where it is, it marks the entrance of the larynx, and the stalk is attached to the anterior aspect of the thyroid cartilage by a ligament, and I will show you what this ligament is. Let me just hide this one. No, how can I show you this? Give me a second. Give me a second. Hide. I will show you how it attaches, and it's very interesting. Hide. Watch. Yes. Now I will select all of them. Yes. Ah, it's hiding them. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Yes, I will do reset. And I'm gonna select this one, this one. And how will I show you this? Give me a second. Hide. Watch. I'm gonna watch this. You see? Thyroepiglottic ligament. When we select epiglottis, this doesn't show up. But
Yeah.
this small part attaches the epiglottis to the thyroid cartilage by a ligament to the back of the anterior aspect of thyroid cartilage. Okay? So epiglottis, leaf-shaped elastic cartilage, marks the entrance of the larynx. It has a stalk which is attached to the back of the anterior aspect of thyroid cartilage by thyroepiglottic ligament. When we swallow, the next point, when we swallow, the epiglottis flattens and moves posteriorly like this, like that. Instead of it being this, it becomes this to close off the larynx. Close off the larynx to prevent food
When
from.
we swallow epiglottis,
When we swallow, epiglottis flattens and moves posteriorly. It just does this. It flattens and moves posteriorly
mhm.
to close the larynx when we swallow. Okay?
And what was the point before the when we swallow epiglottis?
Um, I said so many things about epiglottis. I said it's a leaf-shaped and elastic cartilage.
Yeah, it marks the entrance for the larynx.
Yes, it's the stalk of the epiglottis, the stalk, which is this part here,
Okay,
attaches to the back of the anterior aspect of thyroid cartilage. To the back of the anterior aspect of thyroid cartilage by thyroepiglottic ligament. Thyroepiglottic ligament. Okay? Thyroepiglottic ligament. When we swallow, it flattens and moves posteriorly to close the larynx. That's it.
okay,
Next, we're going to write some notes about the paired cartilages. Okay?
okay.
First, arytenoids. The arytenoids, it's pyramidal shaped structures. Pyramidal shaped structures. Pyramidal shaped structures. Here. It sits on thyroid cartilage. Sits on thyroid cartilage. Sits on thyroid cartilage. They are made up of apex and base. Apex and base. It has 3 sides and 2 processes. Again, I will select one of them. Select one of them. Isolate. Look at it. It has an apex and a base.
Hmm.
Apex and a base. It has 3 sides, 1, 2, and 3.
And two processes.
Has 2 processes.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are we needing this? Because these processes or structures on the arytenoid allows for attachments of so many things. Okay. Now let's talk about the apex. Articulates with corniculate cartilage. There's cartilages here. As we said, they're called corniculate. The apex is used to attach or articulate with corniculate cartilage. The base articulates with cricoid cartilage.
Could you repeat that?
Yes. The base articulates with
Cricoid.
cricoid. Vocal processes here that I circled just now allow for attachment of vocal ligament. Provide attachment for vocal ligament. Finally, provides attachment for posterior and lateral cricoarytenoid muscles. This is the muscular process. And the muscular process of the arytenoid allows for the attachment of 2 things, posterior and lateral cricoarytenoid muscle. Wait, let me show you. How can I show you this? 1 second. This is one of them. See? See how it attaches? That's the posterior cricoarytenoid. And that's the muscular process. So it allows for this attachment. And finally, we have the lateral cricoarytenoid. It is right there. Isolate. See? Muscular process of arytenoid cartilage allows for the attachment of posterior and lateral cricoarytenoid muscles. Cricoarytenoid is between cricoid cartilage and arytenoid cartilage. So cricoarytenoid, posterior and lateral. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay. We know for the corniculate cartilage, it just articulates with the apex of arytenoid cartilage. That's just the only note there.
Okay.
Corniculate cartilage articulates with apex of arytenoid cartilage.
Could you repeat that actually?
Yes, corniculate cartilage
Mm-hmm.
is the next cartilage we're talking about.
Yeah.
Articulates with apex of arytenoid cartilage. And finally, in your notes, there's cuneiform cartilage, right?
Yeah.
This is found in the aryepiglottic fold. Found in the aryepiglottic fold. We're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we're gonna talk about laryngeal ligaments and folds. Laryngeal ligaments and folds. Laryngeal ligaments and folds. Okay. Now, let's do this and remove the muscles and get out the larynx. First, membranes and ligaments. Now, we talked about the larynx itself, the soft tissue. Then we talked about the cartilage outside of it and what are their functions and what they articulate with, what are their parts and everything. Then we will talk about how these things are connected to each other by membranes and ligaments just now. First, membranes. Functions support the cartilaginous skeleton. Support the cartilaginous skeleton. Okay.
Okay.
Skeleton. The extrinsic ligaments, we're going to talk first about the things externally. Extrinsic ligaments,
Extrinsic
yes,
ligaments.
they
Mm-hmm.
act to attach larynx to other structures. They act to attach the
Larynx to
other
other
structures.
structure.
Other structures. The intrinsic ones, they attach the parts of the larynx together. We get it? Extrinsic, attach larynx components to other things. Intrinsic, attach larynx components to each other. Easy?
Okay.
Okay. Now, extrinsic. First, thyrohyoid membrane. Thyrohyoid membrane. Thyrohyoid membrane. Attaches hyoid bone to thyroid cartilage.
Mm-hmm.
Attaches hyoid bone to thyroid cartilage. The thyrohyoid membrane made up of the median thyrohyoid ligament and the two laterals on the side. Within its structure, it has median, which is a thickening here found in this region, and the laterals at the end of it. So the membrane itself, and then it has
Mhm.
lateral thyroid ligament and median here. It's not very clear here, but it's part of it. It's a thickening. It's a median thyroid ligament. Deal, that's the first one.
Yeah.
Second, second, hyoepiglottic ligament. Hyoepiglottic.
Epiglottic
Look at
ligament.
it. It's there. Connecting hyoid bone to um, epiglottis. Hyoepiglottic ligament connecting hyoid bone to epiglottis.
Hmm? Hello.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
So we have thyroid membrane,
Hmm.
hyoepiglottic ligament, right?
Yeah.
Three, cricotracheal, connecting cricoid cartilage to tracheal ligament. Cricotracheal. Okay. Third,
Yeah.
median cricothyroid ligament. Median here. Crico. This one. Median cricothyroid ligament. This is extrinsic, bro. But this is intrinsic. Do you get it? So
Sorry,
the
could you?
yes. So we have four extrinsics: thyroid,
Yeah.
brain,
Hmm.
high epiglottic ligament, uh,
Yeah.
cricotracheal ligament, median cricothyroid ligament, right?
Okay.
So the median now the cricothyroid ligament is this. All of this, do you see it?
Yeah.
It has a median part and a lateral part.
Yeah.
The median part is part of the extrinsic group.
Okay.
The lateral parts are part of the intrinsic group.
Intrinsic. Okay. Okay.
So now we're going to the intrinsic. Lateral,
But what do I write for the median cricothyroid?
yes. So it from the name, it connects cricoid cartilage to thyroid cartilage. Cricoid cartilage to thyroid cartilage.
Hmm. Intrinsic.
Yes, intrinsic cricothyroid ligament, the one that is lateral. And look at it. Hmm. Look how it connects. Do you see it?
Yeah.
There. It originates from cricoid cartilage. It originates from cricoid cartilage
Hmm.
and ends ends um, and ends,
In the thyroid.
yes, thyroid cartilage. And finally, the quadrangular membrane. The second one of the intrinsic is called the quadrangular
Quadrangular.
membrane.
Uh-huh.
Quadrangular membrane, I don't know if I can show you, but I'll try. Have to be here. Second, height. Quadrangular membrane. Hmm. Hmm. Wait, let me show
It,
you. Let me show you where
it
it is.
connects to the arytenoid to the epiglottis, right?
Yes, but I don't know if we can see it on the animation here.
I don't think so.
Hmm. Quadrangular membrane. It's not here. Let me see. Yes, we can't see it for some, but let me reset maybe. Okay, maybe I can show you from another side. Just give me a second. The quadrangular membrane. Quadrangular membrane. Quadrangular membrane. It's a very complicated structure, actually. Second.
Like a small type of horn.
Here, think I found it. Hmm. Yes, it's like an imaginary thing. It's an imaginary
Mm-hmm.
thing. Um, 1 second, retinal cartilage and vestibular ligament. Brother, it's like this. Let me show you what the quadrangular membrane is. It's just a connection. It doesn't exist, but imagine with me that
Yeah.
you have epiglottis, deal.
Deal.
Then you have that's the epiglottis, yes. And then you have aryepiglottic fold. Then you have arytenoid, and then you have vestibular ligament. This here is called the quadrangular membrane. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And the borders of these form this membrane. Okay? So
Okay.
how do we define the quadrangular membrane? Is we say spans between spans between anterolateral arytenoid cartilage right here, spans between anterolateral arytenoid cartilage and lateral aspects of epiglottis on both sides. The lower margin is vestibular fold, and the upper margin is aryepiglottic fold. That's it.
Would you repeat again?
Yes, the quadrangular membrane
Mm-hmm.
is starts at the anterolateral border of aryepiglottic, sorry, no, arytenoid cartilage. Anterolateral margin of arytenoid cartilage, which is this one, and ends at the lateral aspect of epiglottis, this line.
Mm-hmm.
The lower margin of it is vestibular fold, and upper margin of it is aryepiglottic fold. That's the quadrangular membrane. Okay,
Upper margin is?
aryepiglottic fold. Here, bro. This is the aryepiglottic fold.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it? Right there. Isolate. That's the aryepiglottic fold. Okay.
Okay.
Now, next thing is we're gonna talk about the folds. The folds.
Folds.
You have two folds, vocal fold and vestibular fold. Vocal fold
Okay.
and vestibular fold. Okay. Now, first, we're gonna talk about the vocal cord, the vocal fold.
Okay.
Vocal fold is true vocal cords. True vocal folds. They are controlled by muscles here. True vocal folds. Right there. This different color. This is the true vocal folds, which is the true vocal cords. They're controlled by
Vocal folds.
muscles of phonation.
Mm-hmm.
Control, controlled by muscles of phonation. They can be abducted, adducted, relaxed, tensed. They can be adducted, abducted, relaxed, tensed. To control the pitch of the sound. This fold this vocal fold can be adducted, abducted, relaxed, tensed to control the pitch of the sound.
Okay.
Okay. 1 second. What else do we need here? Yes. The structure of this fold has Reinke space.
Sorry,
Rein,
what?
Reinke. Rein,
Reinke.
yes. Rein, Reinke space. Reinke space.
Okay.
Okay. Reinke space. And then okay. Reinke space.
Nice.
This space, this space, it you know what? You don't need to need so much. Just understand vocal folds. Reinke space, vocal ligaments. It has vocal ligaments and vocalis muscles. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, the space between the vocal folds is rima glottidis. Rima glottidis. And brother, put a point there near what we're doing now. The vocal folds and the vestibular folds. This is part of point 32 as well. Okay.
Rima.
Rima
Glottidis.
glottidis. And just put 32 near vocal folds and vestibular folds. These are part of point number 32 as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, vestibular folds.
Mm-hmm.
They lie superior. They lie superior to vocal folds. Here. Superior to vocal folds. They are made up of vestibular ligaments. Okay.
Made
Stib
up of vestibular ligament.
yes, they consist of vestibular ligaments. And let me show you something. Let me show you something now. Let's share this with you. Do you see this?
Yep.
So you
Oh,
have vocal
yeah.
folds, but this is not 3D, this is 2D. These are vestibular
Hmm.
folds, but they found a layer above. This is rima glottis between them, and this is
Yeah.
epiglottis. These vocal folds, bro, they're controlled by muscles. They can be close together, which in other words, adducted, away from each other, abducted. They can be tense or relaxed to change the pitch of the voice. Deal?
Deal.
Okay. So now we're done with this part. We have one final thing, which is the muscles of the larynx. Again, we have intrinsic and extrinsic, and there's a lot of them, but we will run through them very quickly. So, muscles. Let me get the muscles out. The muscles. We have extrinsic and intrinsic.
Hmm.
The extrinsic muscles, first, let's start with the extrinsic or the external muscles. Okay. One second. The extrinsic, they elevate or depress the larynx during swallowing. The extrinsic, yani the ones that are outside, they elevate or they depress larynx during swallowing. That's what they do, the extrinsic. Okay. Intrinsic, they they play a role in breathing and phonation. They play a role in breathing and phonation. First, extrinsic.
First extrinsic.
First, extrinsic, yes. Okay. Extrinsic, we don't want to discuss them today, but
Hmm.
they are the suprahyoid and the infrahyoid muscles. And we can study this in another day. We don't need to dive into them. We have
Yeah.
suprahyoid muscles and infrahyoid muscles. They can work with elevating and depressing the hyoid bone, which is directly attached to the larynx. Hence, these are also called uh, extrinsic muscles of larynx because it
Hmm.
also moves it up and down. So, suprahyoid and infrahyoid muscles, these are the extrinsic. We don't write anything about them, but today we're going to dive deep into intrinsic ones. The intrinsic ones, their function is control shape of rima glottis. Control shape of rima glottis.
Control shape of sorry,
Rima,
epiglottis.
rima glottis, yes. Okay. First, cricothyroid. First, cricothyroid, made up of oblique and straight parts. Cricothyroid, oblique
Mhm.
and straight parts.
Oblique and straight.
function, it stretches and tenses the vocal ligament. Okay, bro, watch. I'm gonna show you something. We're talking about those two, right?
Right.
Cricoid, thyroid, straight and oblique. They're attached, bro, to cricoid and thyroid. Deal?
Deal.
And imagine, I don't know if you can imagine it, but the vocal cords were somewhere inside like this, and the vestibular folds are like, no, the opposite. This is vocal and this is vestibular, right? Let's talk about vocal. Now I know you might be confused, but look, I'm just drawing outside so you understand. Isn't this the vocal cord, bro? Here,
Yeah.
and that is vestibular fold. So hence what where our voice is controlled is this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The vocal chords, they're attached. If now I removed the one second, let me see how I can explain this to you so that you understand. Um, reset. See, move muscles. Look, this is the thyroid and this is the cricoid, right?
Yeah.
If I show you how vocal cords are attached. هلا برو 1 second. Yes. استنى برو يعني okay. So just to put you in شو اسمه in perspective, watch. I'm gonna select. I want to try to select the vocal cords. Sorry. Nope. That's not it. I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna try to select it for you. Vocal cords, yes. So multiple selection, and I'm gonna select this. Isolate. Watch. Now I tried selecting it, but bro, imagine that the vocal folds are connected to thyroid, right? Hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So vocal cords are these, and they're connected to thyroid. So if I ask you this question, if I move the thyroid like this or like this, am I not stretching or relaxing the vocal cords?
Stretching. Yeah.
So
Okay.
if I move the thyroid like this, am I not stretching the vocal cord? Because it's attached to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't the cord attached here?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Uh-huh.
Didn't we discuss? 1 second. Didn't we discuss that this red thing is the larynx?
Yeah.
Okay. And in the larynx, didn't we say supraglottis, glottis, and infraglottis?
Yes. Supra, infra, and sub. Yeah. Okay.
Supra, glottis, and sub, right?
Yeah.
And didn't we say in the glottis there is vocal cords,
Uh-huh.
right? And so now I'm telling you that the vocal cords are attached to the posterior side of thyroid. I'm telling you that, okay? And here's the attachment. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I'm telling you, if I try to move this front, wouldn't this soft tissue inside
Yeah. Contract.
also stretch,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm moving this forward. This red also will stretch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And if I tell you part of this red tissue is the vocal cord, hence I'm stretching the vocal cord if I move this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I get you into perspective. We're studying the first muscle of the intrinsic one. So I get them in. And what do muscles do? They control. They help the intrinsic. I told you they help in phonation, right? They help in phonation, and phonation means production of sound. Hence, they affect the vocal cord. So I'm going to tell you the first ones we chose to study is here, and I isolate. I chose the same exact thing for you, but I'm still 1 second hide this. I know it's hard maybe to understand, but just bear with me. Okay, I will choose this here, here, and I isolate. Watch. This is the same thing I selected, but I added the muscles in. Okay? I said I
Yeah.
want to stretch, right? I want to
Mm-hmm.
stretch.
Yeah.
So if these muscles shorten, they shorten. Okay? They shorten. Arrows.
Mm-hmm.
If they shorten, they will pull on this, right?
Yeah.
Hence, the vector movement, 1 second, 1 second, they would shorten. Okay? Shorten. Okay? And they will bring this thyroid down in comparison to this one, right? So
Yeah.
either way, I'm pushing this forward. If I contract, I'm pushing this forward. Am I not stretching the vocal cord too?
You are.
So do you understand now why um, cricothyroid tenses the vocal cord or the vocal ligament?
Okay.
And so now we are able to produce high-pitched voice. That's it. Do you get it?
Yeah.
You understand now why these two muscles produce high pitched, or are they part of the phonation? Because they only act on the yes, they act on the cartilage, but the cartilage is attached to the vocal cord. So if I move this cartilage, I'm attacking. I'm also acting on the vocal cords.
Okay.
Okay. Next muscle, thyroarytenoid. Thyroarytenoid. Hmm. Thyro. It's not here. It's there. Gonna multiple select. Watch. The next muscle we're discussing is this. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Move.
Thyroid retinoid.
Yes, thyroarytenoid. It is between, so it connects thyroid cartilage and arytenoid cartilage. It connects thyroid cartilage and arytenoid cartilage. So, bro, if it connects this and it contracts, this muscle contracts, becomes shorter. Wouldn't it also pull the thyroid cartilage back?
Yeah.
So, if it pulls it back, makes this vocal cord relaxed, right?
Okay. Could you what am I supposed to write for thyroid retinoid? Is between?
Thyroarytenoid connects arytenoid cartilage
Uh,
to thyroid cartilage. That's it.
okay.
And I'm telling you now, if it contracts, bro,
Yeah.
contracts, wouldn't it shorten, right?
It would.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't the thyroid cartilage move back?
Yeah.
So if it moves back and the vocal cord is attached to it, wouldn't it relax the vocal cord?
Yeah.
Yes. So now the function of thyroid arytenoid is relax vocal ligament. Okay.
Okay.
So now time is running, so I have to
Mm.
really just write the last three muscles. First,
Okay.
posterior arytenoid,
Posterior erythroid,
cricoarytenoid.
cricoerythroid.
Yes, lateral cricoarytenoid
Mm-hmm.
and transverse.
Okay.
That's it. So um sorry, transverse arytenoids. Transverse arytenoids.
Okay.
Um, so I will close now because I really have to go. But for these
Okay.
ligaments, so we're done larynx, brother. You have finished everything in larynx. This is everything about larynx. You finished point number 31 and point number 32. I will explain the
Mm-hmm.
final three ligaments and how they function on the vocal cord, and then you'll be done. But I'll do it next class. Now
Could
enjoy.
you do could you do vestibular folds again? I'm kind of confused. Like tomorrow or something.
Yes, yes, of course, bro.
Okay. All
All right.
right. Thank
I
you
will
so
see you.
much.
No worries.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
السلام عليكم. اه حبيبي قولي لي. شو بدك قولي لي. بالله عليك. طب هاي رديت هسه اتصلت على التليفون. شو مالك؟ شو مالك طيب وينك؟ ايه؟ طيب بالله عليكي. طب وينك انت هسه؟ اوف. فك I'm so sorry man. طيب امر اخذك انا رايح اجيب لحم. و... Yes, I'm going now. Mhm. No, I have to go get the meat to eat. Yeah. Ready بدي انا. Yes.